And this is another key term about press freedom that people should know, and that term is called seditious libel. In 1798, President John Adams's Federalist Party was pretty much facing electoral wipeout in the 1800 election. Everyone saw this coming. Adams was very unpopular, even in his own party. But a lot of Federalists thought that his prospective opponent, Thomas Jefferson, was really a kind of antichrist who was going to destroy all the churches and do away with states and introduce a kind of French Revolution style reign of terror. So Congress framed a law called the Sedition Act, which forbade false criticisms of government. It made it a crime to write, print, utter, or publish any false, scandalous, and malicious writings against either House of Congress of the United States or the President with intent to bring them into contempt or disrepute. That pretty much outlawed any criticism of John Adams. And during the run-up to the election, federal prosecutors enthusiastically used that law to jail newspaper editors who criticized the administration, and even one member of Congress who criticized Adams. They even ended up prosecuting a drunk in a bar in Philadelphia who made a joke about Adams's weight. So you can see that in terms of what we understand as freedom of the press today, the concept wasn't very well developed. However, what happened is that the act politically backfired spectacularly. The popular backlash propelled Jefferson and his party into power with unbeatable majorities, and the new president immediately pardoned everyone who had been jailed under the Sedition Act. The act expired in 1801. Okay, so the Supreme Court never actually ruled on its constitutionality. But 2 centuries later, in 1964, the Supreme Court, in a case called New York Times versus Sullivan, declared that the attack upon the idea of seditious libel has carried the day in the court of history. And in Sullivan, the court developed a doctrine of actual malice. Actual malice means that a public official, say the president or the local chief of police, or a public figure ranging from P. Diddy down to the football coach at Stanford, can't succeed in a libel suit unless they can show that the person criticizing them either knew that what it was saying was false, or at least actually had some inner doubt about whether it was true. Now, that leaves a lot of leeway for reporting and criticism about the famous and the powerful. And sometimes it's unfair and sometimes it's false. But the Supreme Court said we have to tolerate that because of what it called, quote, the principle that debate on public issues should be uninhibited, robust, and wide open.